Just breathe normally now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Hello, come and join us in Rotterdam for a unique and exceptional congress full of world-renowned speakers. It is an opportunity to connect. It is for everyone, for trainees.
I'm not telling you why you should come to Rotterdam. I tell you, you must come to Rotterdam. It's my city. I'm working there. I'm living there. And Rotterdam and ESAIC is a perfect match.
Welcome. I'd like to invite everyone to come to Euroanaesthesia in Rotterdam. It's going to be a great meeting. All the best of the best will be there to talk about state-of-the-art innovation.
For all anesthesiologists, of course, but especially for the younger colleagues, a great opportunity to network with colleagues from all over Europe.
Hi. Euroanaesthesia is precision. Everything is planned around you. So better be in Rotterdam with us for science, novelty, sessions.
I think you should attend Euroanaesthesia in Rotterdam because of the networking, the mentorship, scientific collaborations that are really...
Trainees and early career anesthesiologists that can come in and network.
I've been attending ESAIC meetings for 25 years, consistently every year. The scientific program is of the level, there's very few other meetings in the world.
If you wish to expand your professional community beyond the hospital, Euroanaesthesia in Rotterdam, this is the place to be.
Feel that vibrant atmosphere of Euroanaesthesia 2026. See you in Rotterdam.
Good morning, distinguished colleagues and friends. Welcome to Euroanaesthesia 2026. 5 months into my presidency, I feel blessed. With much effort from the different committees, we redefine our profession. We commit to leadership beyond the operating rooms to advance perioperative medicine. We adopt the day and promote a sustainable world. These are not projects. Are engines for transformation. Each committee contributes. For the first time, the ESAIC Guidelines Committee assumed the lead in driving guidelines development, strategically partnering with a major surgical society. In a pioneering move, the ESAIC Education Committee is taking the lead in cultivating the next generation of leaders by designing a premier course for aspiring young faculty. In a landmark initiative, the ESAIC Research Committee integrated sustainability and DAY into grant assessment, thus promoting better science, better care, and a more equitable and sustainable future for the patients we serve. To proactively address the rise of AI and uphold exam integrity, the Examination Committee pioneered a reverse hybrid format where the candidates convene in a centralized hotel location while the examiners at home participate remotely. And last but not least, we build bridges among our members with the Connect meeting, an initiative launched by the Scientific Committee, this year hosted in Albania. Thank you, the Albanian Society. We're looking forward to meet you in November 2026. Winds of Change. Our collective leadership begins with a conversation we start today on this stage, and I look forward to the progress we will achieve together. So goodbye, Avatar. The real me will take it from here. And welcome to Rotterdam. Euroanaesthesia 2026 starts now. And I would like to start with a tiny confession. I'm profoundly excited, and I hope you share this feeling with me. So, to begin, I'm honored to be joined on stage by a true leader of the host city, academic, and medical community, a renowned oncologist, the dean of the Erasmus Medical Center, the chair of the executive board of the Erasmus Medical Center. Please join me in a warm welcome for Professor Stefan Schleifer. Good morning, Professor Schleifer.
Good morning, Edith. It's really a pleasure to be here and to be part of this, well, spectacular opening ceremony.
Thank you
really
so
a pleasure.
much. So, this morning, the opening ceremony is going to focus on leadership, and the upcoming lectures thereafter will focus on leadership, because leadership is what will define our profession in the upcoming years. What is your intake on leadership?
Oh, there are many, many components about leadership, and of course one of the important elements of leadership is also to be a good host. So a very warm welcome to all of you here in Rotterdam. And it's really a privilege and an honor also for the Erasmus MC to be a part of this very important international meeting. What does leadership means to me? There are a lot of components. I think one of the most important things about leadership is to make things clear. What is the vision that you have? What is the direction that you would like to go or that you want to go with your organization, for example? So the direction is very important. What is also very important is that you make clear what is the context that people have to operate. What is their framework? And last but certainly not least, you have also trust people. What you have to do is, in addition to making things clear, that you give your people the freedom to operate within the frame that you describe to them. That, I think, very important elements of leadership.
So which steps do you take to support and cultivate leadership in your medical center?
I think there are very different manners, but the most important thing is that you have to be a role model, and that doesn't not hold true only for you as a person, but also for the other members of the executive boards or the head of departments, for example. So there it's all about making things clear. Also, what do you expect from your heads in your organization, from your strategic leadership, for example. So it's all about role modeling.
So, you know, everybody has someone who inspired him or her. For me, I think many people know that it was my mother, also an anesthesiologist. Who inspires you?
Well, there are a lot of people who inspire me, also the people that I work with on a daily basis, for example.
Yeah.
But I do like football a lot, soccer a lot. So, yeah, you also?
Yeah.
Okay. Well. And we have to take in mind, of course, that the World Cup will start later this week. And there are some football coaches, some football managers who inspire me a lot. And for example, one of those is Johan Cruyff, the famous Dutch player. But he was also a brilliant leader. He was also a brilliant coach. Yeah. And what he was able, he had devoted developed a new vision on how you should play football, and he was able to make that vision very clear to the players of his team. And what was also very good of him as a leader is that he gave his players the freedom to act in that framework that he developed. So that's really an inspiring leader for me. And also another one, unfortunately fired last week, Arne Slot. I don't know whether there are people from Liverpool here. That was really a ridiculous decision. Yeah. But he was also the former coach of Feyenoord Rotterdam, which is the famous football club here out of Rotterdam. And I have spoken with him several times. And he was very inspiring in how you make individuals realize that their personal ambitions can only be reached through the team. Okay. And that is, of course, also something that we see in academia. There we have medical specialists, there we have professors who have personal ambitions. There's, of course, competition ongoing, also within a department. And how can you make people realize that they can reach their ambitions only through collaboration, only through their team? And that was also very inspiring for me in all the strategies that he used to achieve that within his teams.
Very interesting choices that you took with you. Thank you so much for being here with us and for inspiring words. Now we know that leadership is not just a title, it's a commitment. That's a clear, clear message. Thank you.
Thank you, and enjoy your stay.
And now I would like to join me on stage Professor Kai Zakharovsky. When I think of leadership in times of crisis, I think of Kai. Because Kai was our president during the COVID pandemic. And at that time, Kai did a very, very courageous move. He rebranded our society. So it's not anymore ESA, European Society of Anesthesiologists, but rather ESAIC, European Society of Anesthesiology and Intensive Care. What is the story behind this move?
Good morning. I can't hear you. So I have 4 minutes time. This is my list, okay? Very short. You know, COVID was obviously hard for everybody, but before COVID and during COVID, I thought, okay, how do we present ourselves as a society? And I did what everybody does. I did a Google search.
No Gemini back then.
Yes, and then I can tell you the first 11 pages of Google, if you type in ESA, it was the European Space Agency. Oh. And then I thought, and then there was big advertisement on the site, billions of grant money. I said, okay, where are we? Then page 12, you won't believe it, the European Sociological Society with 2,800 members. I said, okay. So I did further search, page 16.
Page 16.
You have any idea? It wasn't us.
No, I don't even wish to think about the word S. Okay.
Yeah, there was a patient safety survey by ESICM and ESA. All right. Page 21. Any idea?
Oh my God.
European Snacks Association. Okay, and then COVID was jumping in. And then there was this famous picture of who was treating on the intensive care units patients suffering from COVID. There was this nice numbers, 2,628 intensivists and 6,657 anesthesiologists. But this is not the full story, it continues. So I looked at the WFSA, at all anesthesiological societies worldwide, and I just did some groundwork. I just put together who has in the name something related to intensive care. and it was about 45% of these societies. And then we did a NAS survey. You remember, all the council members, we did the NAS survey, and we found that in the names of NAS, there were 35% were carrying intensive care and 11% resuscitation. But 70% were caring for patients on the intensive care unit. So then it was very clear. Then I thought for myself, it's time to move on, time to convince.
Time for a change.
For a change. And the change, everybody knows now. We transferred from ESA to ESAIC, but also we have the fellowship now, ESAIC. We have the journal, and we have the Professor Ibsen lecture.
Right.
And Professor Ibsen was the first anesthesiologist in Denmark, and he founded the first intensive care unit in the world. And this was not COVID, it was during polio. So that is a little bit the story why we
First
as a
time we hear
team...
that. First time we hear that.
But Edith, I have to say,
Yeah.
it was a team effort. It was a team of people who were convinced that we have to do a change. If you now type in ESAIC, bang, first page, first line, we're all in, okay?
We owe him, we owe him. So as we all know and as we heard, the COVID pandemic highlighted the critical role of anesthesiologists in this front line. However, there are other front lines and other threats now in Europe, unfortunately. And for this reason, I invite Dr. Isaac Brzezinski-Sinai on stage to join Kai and myself, because both Kai and Isaac are leading the European Preparedness for Crisis Management ESAIC Task Force. Welcome. Good morning.
Thank you, Professor Mattoni. Thank you all for coming. So COVID showed...
What is the purpose of this task force?
So I would say that COVID showed Europe something very clearly as Kai took to the direction of integration. In every hospital, anesthesiologists were not only clinical experts, they became crisis leaders. We are equipped with a set of unique expertise, resilience, Swiss Army knife level of versatility that spans the entire patient journey and does lead the way. But COVID is not the last crisis, as you mentioned, and Europe is now facing a much more complex reality. Pandemics, war, mass casualty events, climate events. These are no longer theoretical scenarios, unfortunately, and we must ensure the highest level of preparedness.
All right, so you both, what goals did you set?
So we sat and thought thoroughly about it, and the first goal is to acknowledge the leadership role of anesthesiologist intensivist across the full patient journey, from the scene to the emergency department, the operating room, recovery and ICU. In every crisis, our specialty connects the system, and it is imperative that the EU and its regional stakeholders integrate anesthesiology leadership into the core of crisis response planning. Effective crisis management during continual instability requires a unified front between EU and its regional anesthesiology community. The second goal is to strengthen knowledge and competencies. We need focused training, not just lectures. We need full comprehensive program, e-learning, simulation, drills, practical toolkits. We need to create that together. The third goal is to share best practices across Europe. Personal models, equipment planning, infrastructures, workflows. Every country has experience, every center has lessons, and ESAIC can connect them all.
You know, there are many organizations and societies that are very active with this respect. So what is the add-on value of a ESAIC task force?
So that is a very important point to say. So this task force is not meant to replace national or European initiatives. Quite the opposite. We aim to complement them. We aim to create practical tools that improve professionalism, efficiency, and coordination when systems are under stress. Disaster medicine should become part of the anesthesia syllabus, and preparedness should not be an optional topic. It should be a core professional competency for the next generation. ESAIC has the responsibility to lead in this space, not only because crisis management is important, but because our specialty is already there, at the center of it.
Thank you both for taking this mission on you. It's a timely and critical mission, and I thank you both. I'm looking forward to the journey and to the recognition and support of the EU.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And speaking of the EU and the significant leadership of anesthesiologists within Europe, let me move to the next high-impact initiative, the launch of the ESAIC white paper. And to understand more about the vision behind the white paper, we went directly to the source. And we interviewed the architect of this initiative, Professor Wolfgang Bure, our past president.
Hi, Wolfgang. We have an ESAIC white paper talking about resilience. Why does resilience matter now?
Well, we are in a changing environment. We see that in Europe, the population ages, the question rises, our patient needs us. However, what we also learned during the pandemic, that we are not resilient enough to meet the demand. So it's really the time to put this on the agenda of our society, but also outside the society.
Where does anesthesia fit in the multidisciplinary scape?
First of all, they need highly dedicated specialists. However, they need more and more guardians which guide them through the hospital process. Anesthesiologists in Europe see approximately 70 to 80% of all patients in the hospital, relatively often in the most vulnerable periods, at the emergency department, in the operating theater, but also on the ICU. Therefore, the anesthesia is the most holistic specialty in modern medicine.
What challenges does this white paper highlight?
First of all, one of the biggest challenges, the workforce we have in medicine. We know that more and more patients are coming. However, we really have to take care about the workforce. Second, we see that there is enormous heterogeneity in Europe. So our approach is to ask the politicians and policymakers to create a homogeneous environment in Europe to train our colleagues appropriately. Third, I think it's quite obvious that we are living in a time where we need a sustainable approach for medicine. Therefore, we also put that on the agenda in this white paper. I think the European society within the past years developed a couple of initiatives, starting with the Glasgow Declaration on Sustainability, Janneke Mellin-Olsen Declaration on Diversity, Equity and Inclusion.
What is ESAIC calling for today?
ESAIC is calling on policymakers to recognize the vital role of our specialty in resilient healthcare systems. We should work together to bring that not only on the table, but also to make concrete steps to move forward from that. Otherwise, we will not be able to meet the demand of our patients. And by investing in training, in research, workforce development and sustainability, we can ensure that healthcare systems across Europe remain strong, resilient and capable of delivering safe care for all.
This is a beautiful way for you to conclude this term as ESAIC president. Do you have a few last words?
Well, I think the future of healthcare depends on the professionals who are able to perform healthcare. This is something which can be called my last words in this role.
On behalf of everyone, thank you for leading us these last 2 years and for realizing such a beautiful work. And we take it on from here to a greater mission.
Thank you, Wolfgang. So we all speak here about leadership, and when I look across this room, I see lots of leaders, I see lots of chairs. I also see lots of future leaders and future chairs. Yet I realize that while we provide world-class, really education, academic and scientific, the curriculum of leadership is left to chance. And this is why I've asked Professor Joanna Berger to join me on stage, because of an initiative the ESAIC Leadership Program for Aspiring Anesthesiologists. So tell me, Joanna, what is the purpose of this one?
Well, Edith, we realized that there was a massive gap. We spent decades learning about physiology, about pharmacology, but when it comes to leadership, we're suddenly taken into the deep end. We have to deal with budgets at a certain point in our lives. We have to resolve conflicts, toxic conflicts. We even have to lead teams through crises, just relying on instinct. And that doesn't seem fair. So we thought that this program is something important. It's designed to change that, to turn leadership into a skill, so that we can practice and master, and just like a clinical procedure.
So I like it, mastering leadership like we master a procedure.
Yeah.
This is cool. You know, I looked at the program, it's really intense. What's also interesting that it's not the typical classroom format.
No.
So what's the philosophy behind this format?
So we really want to do experiential learning in a face-to-face format. We don't want people sitting in the dark looking at slides or taking modules. This is going to be different. We are going to basically start with self-leadership. What exactly is self-leadership? You need to have knowledge of yourself before you lead your team. And then we use real-life simulations. Thank you, ESAIC, for that, where participants have to navigate some operational tricks, like conflicts with surgeons or dealing with colleagues in distress, like someone who has committed suicide. We also are going to learn about negotiation skills or getting to a yes from our C-suite. And in the end, we will have some campfire lessons in the evening for informal learning. So the whole concept is to build a community, not just a network.
Campfire, yoga, meditation, you'll hear a lot about it in this small venue that we are going to stay. In the program, we focus a lot on the first 100 days. And we're going to discuss it in this program, in this venue. Why are the 100 days so important?
Well, that was your idea.
It's true.
Because the first 100 days set the culture.
Yeah.
You can either win or lose the trust of your team, of your C-suite, or your organizational staff in those 100 days. So we're going to use workshops to have participants draft their day one speech to the department. And in that case, we're going to give them direct, immediate feedback on their body language, their clarity, and the way they present themselves. So we want people to go into their first day to walk with a plan and not necessarily just with a title.
Okay, another thing that I worry about, that you mentioned that those who will apply, it's like leading from the middle.
Yeah.
So do we ask only bosses to apply?
No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Leadership, as you know, is an action. It's not a position. So whether you're a consultant, a clinical lead, or a boss, bosses are also welcome, you are constantly leading from the middle. So this program is set to be for the next generation of clinicians that aspire to lead, but most importantly wish to advocate for their patients and their teams to work more effectively.
Let me tell you, I've seen the energy and the positive vibe put into this planning of this initiative, this program, and I can't wait to see all those doctors working with us in this venue near Brussels. Thank you so much, Joanna, for bringing this vision to ESAIC.
Thank you. And please join us for more information tomorrow at 3 in the square. We're excited to see you there, and you will get more information about the project then. Thank you.
to kill or die for. And no religion too. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday you join us, and the world will live as one.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Enjoy the Congress and enjoy Rotterdam.
Thank you so much. The ESAIC band, please join me. Led by Zev Goldik, our past president. Professor Zev Goldik, our past president, and the band. They did it 10 years ago in London, several years later in Geneva, and now here in Rotterdam, and several other conferences. So thank you so much. Join me. This is the spirit of Imagine, the spirit of ESAIC, a world united in purpose and for purpose. And that's what brings me to the next milestone. In our field, unity means ensuring every patient receives seamless, unified care from the moment they contemplate surgery to the moment they return back home. This is the essence of peri-operative medicine. To formalize this commitment, I welcome to stage the member of the Peri-Operative Medicine Initiative to take historic step by signing the London Declaration. So please welcome all the professors. Professor Mike Grocott, President of Peri-Operative Quality Initiative. Professor Dave Story. President of ANSCA, and Joel Simons, the head of the Peri-Operative Medicine, also from ANSCA. Professor Danny Levitt, Director of Center for Peri-Operative Care. Professor Patrick Guillaume, the ASA President. Where is the ASA President? American Society of Anesthesiology. Dr. Claire Shannon, President of the Royal College of Anesthetists. Professor Anushka Alfonso, Chair of the American Society of Hands Recovery and Peri-Operative Medicine. And Professor Wolfgang Bure, our past President. I didn't forget anybody, right? Did I? No, I didn't. Good. Mike, will you come next to me? So, my question is, for everybody sitting here and those who are online at home, what is the essence of peri-operative medicine? Why is it so important for our global community?
High-quality care transforms lives. It transforms lives because it improves recovery and it restores independence, because it reduces avoidable harm and creates value for patients, healthcare systems and society. And it transforms lives because it enables people to return to the families, communities and lives that they value. Colleagues, friends and partners, it's a great privilege to welcome you to Rotterdam and to the opening of this ESAIC Congress. And today I want to talk about one of the greatest opportunities in modern healthcare, an opportunity hidden in plain sight, perioperative care. Every day, millions of people place their trust in us. They come hoping for relief of pain, freedom of disease, restoration of function, and sometimes simply the chance for a longer or better life. The operation may define surgery, but it doesn't define the patient experience. For patients, surgery is only one chapter in a much larger story. For patients, surgery is a journey that begins long before the operating theatre and continues long after the recovery room. No single profession, system or discipline has all the answers to the challenges and opportunities of that journey, but together we can achieve more than any of us can alone. The London Declaration was conceived through a partnership between ESAIC and sister organisations from across Europe, North America, Australia and New Zealand, united by a shared belief that perioperative care offers one of the greatest opportunities to improve health outcomes in the 21st century. It is founded on a simple yet powerful belief: high-quality perioperative care transforms life. And the declaration is more than a statement, it's a call for action, for patient-centred care that places people before processes, for collaboration between disciplines, and for international cooperation at a time when populations are ageing, surgical demand is rising, and healthcare resources are increasingly constrained. Our ambition must not shrink, it must grow, to support shared decision-making, to prepare patients through optimisation, rehabilitation and better care for frailty, to enable recovery through enhanced recovery pathways and enhanced post-operative care, and to learn, innovate and advocate together. So let this meeting be more than a congress, let it be a catalyst. Let Rotterdam be a place where we renew our commitment to our patients and to one another and to a shared vision of the future. The future of perioperative care will not be built by one specialty. It'll be built by a community, united by compassion and by science and by a simple belief that high-quality perioperative care transforms life. Thank you very much.
Professor Dave Story, founder, one of the main founders of this initiative, will you join me? What is your uptake to read this journey?
Thanks very much, Edith. It's wonderful to be here. So I'm Dave Story. I'm the immediate past president of the Australian New Zealand College of Anaesthetists. And I think the important message I really want to convey is that we are your friends and here to help. I think there's a lot of similarity and education that we can share with our colleagues in Europe. Most importantly, we've worked very closely with the Centre for Perioperative Care in the United Kingdom. My colleague Joel Simon's been heavily involved in education. ANZCA across Australia and New Zealand now has a post-fellowship training program in perioperative medicine. We have a curriculum, and Joel and I are very keen to work with our European colleagues to look at individual systems. So it's about system management, beyond the individual patient, but the whole system, along with your leadership plans. So we are very keen. We have a session on Monday morning where we'll talk more extensively about what we're doing in Australia and New Zealand. And I would like to say, a bit like Eurovision, we'd be very keen to have a regular session at Euroanaesthesia if we could, because we think we have a lot to share, the good and the bad, suicide, leadership, disaster. So we're very keen to share, but in this particular setting, particularly around education in perioperative medicine, the one thing I'd say that for Australia and New Zealand is particularly important for us is our First Nations people, Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders in Australia, and Māori, and also Pacifica in New Zealand. So that's one particular area of perioperative medicine that is special to our part of the world, but there are, I'm very aware of First Nations people in other countries as well. So we're delighted to be here, and we really hope that we can work very closely with our European colleagues in furthering perioperative medicine, particularly the education side.
take a group photo. Let's join me. We're going to take a group photo for this. Will you come closer, please? And we have the photographer here. David Walker, did I forget you? My God, I asked if I forgot somebody. Hey! Sorry. I knew I forgot somebody. All right. David Walker. All right. Thank you so much, David. And I said, did I forget somebody? I'm just like reading.
I had a 10-minute speech ready.
Oh, you had a 10-minute speech ready. Thank you so much. So, friends and colleagues, we have spent this hour discussing leadership, all aspects of leadership and initiative within the ESAIC. And I would like to conclude the ceremony by honoring those who lead the frontier of science and research and knowledge. And for this, I would like to welcome Professor Mark Coburn, the chair of the Research Committee for the Research Grant Ceremony. Hi, Mark.
So, the ESAIC really remains deeply committed to advance anesthesiology and intensive care through innovative, practice-changing studies via our established research grant program. This year also marks an important milestone as we award, for the really first time, the BGA ESAIC Sustainability Research Grant. I think this is of utmost importance in these challenging times. In addition, we are pleased to highlight that the Andreas Höft and Paolo Pelosi grants are now supported by the publisher of the European Journal of Anesthesiology. We are proud to present this year's ESAIC grant winners. These awards not only foster clinical innovation, but also reflect the tradition of excellence and collaboration that defines our community. It's now my great pleasure to announce the 2026 awardees. For the ESAIC EJA grants, I invite Professor Mark van der Velde on stage. In the field of anesthesiology, the Andreas Höft grant is awarded to Professor Frank Verdon, and in intensive care, Paolo Pelosi grant is awarded to Martin Mirus. Can you come up stage, please? Yeah.
Congratulations.
So, congratulations, really fantastic. Come here.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Group photo.
Now you have to stand next to him. All right, this way we're going.
Yeah, fantastic.
Thank you, Mark.
For the BGA ESAIC Early Career Grants, we are pleased to invite Professor Simon Howell to join us in presenting the certificates on behalf of the Trust of the British Journal of Anesthesia. The awards go to Emily Cambriel and David Schumacher. Unfortunately, Emil could not join the Congress today. The new BGA ESAIC Sustainability Grant is awarded to Kirsten Nguyen. And again, she couldn't make it, but at least from the point of sustainability, she kind of saved some CO2 equivalents. Can you come here, please?
Let's take a photo.
Yeah. Fantastic. For the Clinical Trial Network grant, this year is awarded to Tuche Dinch and Professor Bashak Meko for the project XPEX. Can you please come up? Yeah. Yeah.
Bash.
So.
Congratulations. Two women. Yeah. You stand next to Mark. Okay. Yeah, you can stand next to him.
Okay. Okay, congratulations, great.
Thank you.
So, our established grant programs will continue in 2027 with the next call open in August, end of August. So please apply. Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, the show must start. And it's my pleasure and big honor to invite on to the stage the chair of the scientific committee, the chair of Euroanaesthesia 2026, Professor Michel Struze.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Rotterdam. Welcome to Euroanaesthesia 2026. What a great time to have you here. It's my third Euroanaesthesia that I can welcome you, and I'm very pleased to have you all here. As chair of the scientific committee, I'm very honored to be your host for the next 3 days. Enjoy our excellent scientific program. Download the app. Look what we are doing over these next 3 days. Look for the workshops, the innovation talks, our fantastic exhibition hall, the networking opportunities. Everywhere you can sit, talk to your colleagues, grab a cup of coffee, and discuss the next project. Also, of course, enjoy the vibrant city of Rotterdam. Last week, our national host, the Dutch Society of Anesthesiology, had its national conference in Maastricht and forwarded the science arrow to Euroanaesthesia and ESAIC. And here in the background, you see my colleague, Dr. Marcus Klimek, who is accepting that arrow. And now it's my pleasure to invite the chair and the president of the Dutch Society of Anesthesiology, Dr. Anton de Bruin, our local host, also to present the Dutch National Society Award and arrow to us. And here you see him in Maastricht, and now he's here with the same arrow to give that to me. So science moves from the Netherlands to Europe and back. Thank you very much, Anton. So stay a moment with me, because I would like to ask you, this arrow stands for something. It's the highlights of science also and clinical leadership in the Netherlands. Can you tell me a little bit what are the highlights for the Dutch Society of Anesthesiologists concerning that?
In Holland, the last couple of years, we developed communities collaborating in large trials between academic and non-academic centers, and I believe this gave us very good trials with nice outcomes, which is guideline changing. And
absolutely, we collaborate a lot between the centers, and that's a fantastic thing, and is also a show of leadership. Thank you very much for joining me on stage, and I will now try to get rid of this arrow because I have to continue the show.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. So let's start, ladies and gentlemen, with our first keynote lecture in honor, as you already heard, of Sir Robert McIntosh. Our first speaker didn't have to travel that far because she lives here in Rotterdam. However, just before the COVID crisis, she lost her heart to the north of the Netherlands. She is the vice chair of the executive board of the University Medical Center Groningen and professor of future healthcare. She holds executive responsibilities for patient care, digital transformation, and postgraduate medical education. She is passionate about shaping the future of healthcare and the next generation of our leaders in anesthesiology and healthcare. The title of her lecture is Leadership in Healthcare in Terms of Transition. I'm very pleased to invite her on stage at her birthday, Professor Stephanie Klein-Nagelvoort-Schuit.